Hey everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Covering Your Bases, Closing More Deals Through Service, with MAPS coaches, Karina Gafford and Lindsay Litton. Please note that this webinar is being recorded and you will automatically receive the webinar recording. If you have any questions for your coach, please type them into the questions box located in your webinar taskbar. Following the webinar, if you have any questions about today's calls or coaching programs, please email us at fasttrack@kw.com. That is fasttrack@kw.com. That's all for me. Karina and Lindsay, take it away.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for joining Karina and I today. We're excited and passionate to talk about something that is near and dear to our hearts, and that is working with military buyers and sellers. So I'm Lindsay Litton. I am your MAPS coach. I'm joined by the lovely dear friend and business partner, Karina Gafford. We are both military spouses and have sold over 90 million in real estate within the military market with our team and referrals that we are going to get into here in a bit. So Karina, thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, thank you, ma'am. And thanks to everybody who's hopped on to join us. My name is Karina Gafford. I'm a retired military spouse, which sounds crazy to say in your 30s, but my husband just retired from the Air Force after 9 PCSs. So permanent changes of station, and that's something we'll be talking about in this course too. And so we are down here in San Antonio.
Awesome. Well, we really don't want to talk at you for this entire presentation. So one of the things that we had fun with last time was getting you guys to pop into the little question box, and at various points in this webinar, we're going to ask you guys, the listeners, what it is that you want to hear from us. So we're going to kick it off with tell us where you're from and your relation to the military market. So if you guys are listening, pop into the little question section and tell us where you're from and what military market you serve. And if you don't serve a military market, then leave us a fun little comment on why you want to work with the military. So I'm going to have you guys do that as I'm leading through, and then that always usually sparks some really fun and interesting conversation that we can have, because we want to make this as lively as possible and not a Lindsay and Karina talking at you presentation. So Patty, thank you so much. We'll make sure that we're going through all the responses as I'm chatting, and that we can just pop in some fun content as we're going through this presentation.
Awesome. Thank you, Lindsay. I just went ahead in the chat box there and I put in my name, where I'm from, and my relationship to the military community. So there's a little space down there, and they should be in the bottom right for you guys. I'll go ahead and show what it looks like on mine. So down here is place for chat, and so you can go ahead and comment in here and then add in, so then you can connect with other people within the class too, because part of the purpose of this class is for us to help create community. So yes, we'll talk a lot about working with the military community, but we want to also create community among those who work with the military community too, so that you guys are able to connect and to hopefully share referrals, which is something that we'll be working with you guys on too.
Yes. So we're going to kick things off, and Karina, if you wouldn't mind helping me man the chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
I can chit chat like like I can. So if Karina, if you can help me with that, that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, so if you guys aren't in the car driving, which I hope you're not, listening to this webinar, which most agents are, believe me, I passed my real estate exam just listening to it, listening to myself reciting the 1 to 4 family contract multiple times. Grab a pen and pad, because I want to ask you a very strategic question as we go into this webinar. Who do you work with? Okay, take a couple seconds, jot it down. Do you primarily work with military clients? Do you primarily service doctors? Are you really well known for first-time home buyers? Do you work with the Hispanic market? Write down, who do you primarily work with? And Karina, I know you're manning the chat, but can you hit the little tabby keys? Okay, yes, once we've defined who it is that you work with, I also want to ask you, have you defined, are you intentional about who you want to work with? So there's a difference, okay? And I want to draw that distinct difference for you here. forgive me because I come from a marketing background. I'm going to get a little marketing at you. So who you work with and who you want to work with are two different things. And if you're taking this class, my assumption is that you want to work with more military. So we're going to define what that means and how to get intentional about that. So that's such a good segue into this next slide, which our big question is, why do you want to work with the military? Okay, if you want to work with the military because you see it as a constant stream of income, awesome, it's there. But we also want you, again, to be more intentional about why do you want to serve those who serve? Okay, so we're going to go through that now.
All right, great question. So there's a few reasons why you might want to work with the military community if you're not already working with the military community. So one of them that we found is that active duty families represent 2% of all home buyers in a year, and that's with a median home price of $255,000. So just to give a little bit of perspective, I think the median home price last year was $230,000. So that's 2% of all home buyers. Veterans represent 17% of all home buyers in a year, and that's with a median home price just shy of that of $229,000. So we're already up to about 1 in every 5 home buyers. So 19% of the home buying community is military. They're either active duty or they're veteran. So if you're still not sure, what if we told you that one buyer is worth about $25,000 in GCI to you? Okay, so these are numbers based on that $255,000 sales price that we were talking about. Obviously, if you're in San Diego or New York, you're probably laughing at our numbers, but this is the median nationwide, and I know down here in San Antonio, we're at about 245,000 for the military community as a market average. So we're just basing it on that. Obviously, you want to adjust for your numbers. So let's look at one military buyer. We're looking over a 3-year period. GCI, if you're a brand new agent, welcome. GCI is your gross commission income. So in year 1, buying a house, so let's say you sell that $255,000 house, you're at 3% commission. That equals $7,650 to you, just shy of $8,000 in commission from your military buyer. That's awesome, congratulations. Year 2, you're referring a friend, or they're referring a friend to you. Now, that's not automatic, and we'll go into that a little more. If you take care of your clients, if you take care of your business, and you follow and you put in place the processes and systems that Keller Williams has in place, you have your 36 touch, you're doing your follow-up, you have your newsletters, you host client events, they're referring a friend because you've built community with this person. So it's worth another approximately $8,000 in GCI to you. Year 3, you're selling a house. So that buyer who bought in year 1 is about ready, and year 3 might be a bit soon. It could be year 4, but the average military family, they're PCSing or having a permanent change of station every 2 to 3 years. So if you're working with a military and active duty family, they're selling that house potentially in year 3, and that's another roughly $8,000 in GCI for you. And then if you put the processes in place and create the communities through this course, you now have a military client who's selling a house, who now wants to buy a house at their next duty station, and hopefully through this course you're able to connect with other people who work with the military community and other duty stations. We'll teach you how to connect with them on Facebook and how to connect with them through Kelly as well, and that you're able to place the perfect referral to a fellow agent at their next duty station. We did about 19 million in referrals last year, and it came out to approximately 2,100 on average per referral. So not too shabby. Obviously, again, you want to adjust those numbers for your particular market.
Yes. And so I think the real important takeaway here is that the military can be a revolving door of business. And if done properly through your 33 touch, as we all know is extremely important, you can continue to nurture your business. So I know that's something that Karina wants to highlight here, because this business is not automatic, okay? Don't run and make the basic assumption that, boom, I work with, 1 or 2 military clients. Lindsay and Karina told me that this was, just gonna be amazing and I was gonna get 25,000. This takes work, and we're gonna teach you the systems that allow you to continue to expand so that you can optimize every opportunity possible for gaining business just by working with a core demographic. So Karina, I know, wants to do a self-evaluation here. This is really important for us because, as I said, we're going to put you to work even on this first webinar. And as I was going through a lot of the comments here, I'm seeing that there's a lot of folks that either directly tied to the military, whether or not be through their son or family that has served. I'm also seeing some agents here that are new to the business that are looking for their niche and they're looking for a target demographic. So we can talk more about that. And then I just saw, because I'm in Colorado Springs, Angela is in Colorado Springs. So Angela, welcome. And I want to talk about working in markets where there is a large saturation of military clientele and also a high concentration of realtor population, because I launched my business in San Antonio, Texas, known as Military City USA. And Karina and I are going to talk about our story a little bit later on.
Yeah, there's just shy of, yeah, y'all can do it too. There's just shy of 11,000 realtors here in San Antonio. So it is eminently doable. Okay, self-evaluation, and man, I do wish it was automatic, but it's not. And anything worth having is worth working for. So you already have pen and paper out. So keep that pen and paper out. I'm going to ask you guys to take a look at what your military business looks like right now, because we need a foundation from which to start so that we know what we can build upon. And if your military business right now is non-existent, awesome. We have a great place from which to start. And if you are a rock star, so you're rating yourself on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 needs improvement, 5 rock star level, awesome. Lindsay and I would love to chat with you as well. Okay, for everyone else, let's get you to rock star level. Number 1, how many military clients do you work with in a year? So again, you're rating yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. Number 2, my understanding of VA loans and how to guide clients through the process. And again, these are all things that we're going to teach you guys in the course. Number 3, my understanding of my immediate military community and their needs. So that means that could be military installations, or if there aren't military installations or a heavy population of military installations near you, you could have Coast Guard units, you could have a large contingency of VA hospitals near you, which means that there's probably a large population of veterans. Number 4, my understanding of how to attract military clients and build a military referral business. And number 5, my understanding of how to find agents at other bases who could effectively assist my clients. So if you look at numbers 1 to 5 and you see one that needs improvement, or you see one that you definitely want to make sure that you're working on, if there's one that you know right off the bat that you want to work on, go ahead and post it in the chat or the comment section right there, because that's going to help us make sure that we are gearing some of the content in the course towards what y'all are looking for as well.
And if you want higher level of accountability, I'm going to ask you to post your comprehensive score from that quiz that Karina just gave you in the comments, because I want to see, again, vulnerability, failure is good. So if you feel insecure about it, post it so that we can help you get better. All right, so let's talk about the program and what you're going to learn in the program. This is an 8-week webinar program. We've also developed an exclusive Facebook group where we're inviting everyone that has registered for the class to, again, build community. We want to foster, some of the top agents so that you have other agents to learn from, because it really is a community-driven market. Military is so close together. I always laugh when people pee in the pond, so to speak, because you never know when you're going to be stationed at a base with those military families again. So the community is so close-knit and so well integrated, because we have to be, and that it is an awesome opportunity to build community. So this class is really for anyone that has a heart for serving. I know Tessa just posted she would love to find a way to give back. And Tessa, I'm so glad you're here with us, because Karina and I are going to talk about creating a social impact business with your military arm or your military focus, and how you can give back to the military community in this course. And we're going to give you some tidbits here today too, Tessa. So again, all the calls are going to be recorded. It's going to be streamed live. If you want to get connected, we're going to have ways to do that. But Karina are going to leave you with scripts tools and techniques on how to grow your military business, how to leverage Facebook. Okay, look, I took bold, I cold called, I door knocked, I did all of the things. I was a brand new military spouse in a community that knew no one. And I went to the one area that I knew my military families were connecting, and that was Facebook. And I built an entire business off of Facebook. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do it too.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback into that. I've never done a cold call in my life in real estate, and I have
It's good. It's
$7
good.
million in escrow right now. So.
It can work for you. Karina, how much did we make from one Facebook group? What was that number?
It was 10 million in 1 year. And
We
then
made
we made
10 million.
5 million from another Facebook group that year too.
Yeah. So we're going to teach you the ways that Facebook can be really powerful for our market. And we don't want to discount any of you that cold call, because I love cold calling. I love to call me some FSBOs. So cold calling is good if it works for you. We're just going to teach you another leg for your stool. So again, we're going to come back to you. All right. Has anyone shared any of their things in the comment here, Karina? Because I want to make sure that we're addressing them as well. So Karina, you gather those, and I'm going to hit on what your goals are. What do you hope to accomplish by working with the military market? If you're here because you think that you're going to put a little, social media dicky-do on your profile that says, I love to serve my veterans, and you have no real meaningful connection to our market, then please don't take our course. This course is not for you. We're here to empower the people that have a patriot heart, that want to legitimately, authentically connect and serve our market. And that's who we're here for. We want to create businesses worth having, businesses that can give back to the community, again, back into that authentic connection. We want to teach you the skills on how, because there's so many agents out there, and I get this all the time. Lindsay, how do I do it? I really have a patriot heart and I want to get back to my community. How do I do it? We can do it in so many different ways, and we're going to teach you those ways, and we're going to equip you with the tools that you need to make it happen. So again, going back through this, what are your goals? How many military buyers and sellers do you want to add to your production, and how do you want to leverage your local community online and in person to better serve the military? Karina, was there any profound thoughts that came up through some of the questions with our survey that we want to address before we kind of move forward?
I haven't found any from the survey yet. A couple of them we've kind of hit on a little bit. Can you be successful with military market when there's not a base close by? Yes, we're going to address that. In class number 2, we'll focus on that a little more specifically, where we'll be teaching you how to look for the military community in your community, because they are there, how to find them, how to ask them, even if they haven't served in the military in 30, 40 years. We'll show you how to help them use their VA loan benefits, how to ask them appropriately, whether or not they've ever served, and how to help guide them through the process as well.
Oh yeah, and I'm seeing some little nuggets in here. I want to touch on, a couple of folks have had, can I be successful if there's not a military base close to me, or if there's a location 45 minutes from me? Abso-freaking-lutely, because I guarantee you, even though there's not an active duty base by you, there's military families that are retiring in your community that you can be serving. And Karina can attest to this with our Mill Housing Network, where we connect pre-screened realtors with military families all over the world. I mean, Karina has placed some interesting locations that we never thought we would ever place military families because they're retiring. And Karina, you can expand upon that.
Oh man, I think we have 800 agents in our network now, all across the U.S. We really thought when we started out that we'd be sending referrals to the same 5 to 10 major military installations, but we have so many veterans and people who are retiring and they're moving back home. So we've had closings in Wyoming, Montana, Utah. I'm trying to think where else was recently. New Hampshire, Connecticut, Maine, places that don't have strong military contingencies, and yet they do have veterans, and they have people who are doing their final move home as well, and they're looking for a home.
Yes.
All
okay, so we're going to be a bit selfish for 1 to 2 minutes, and then I want to touch on Patty's question, because she wanted to know, did we sell 5 million from that Facebook group, or did we make that? Patty, we made 5 million GCI from that Facebook group. So just want to clear that up. The power of social, Patty. All right. So our goal for you, and Patty, we're going to teach you on how to do it too. So we're not just sitting here to tout on what we did. That is by the means the last thing we want to do. We want to empower you with the skill sets on how to do it yourself. So our selfish goal for you is to help you grow a military arm quickly so that you can help employ others. So I want to talk about two markets that you're going to discover once you start serving more and more military families, and as you start seeing this come up in your transactions, because we all know what it means to serve, just clients. You get to know them so well. So you're going to start seeing a common theme when it comes to serving our military clients. And there's military spouse unemployment is about 26%. That's quadruple the national average. And what you're going to start seeing is that these military spouses, because they're being moved all over the country every 2 to 3 years, it's really difficult for them to get a job. And what Karina and I are here to advocate for is that as you grow your business, as you start serving more military families, you're going to start needing a transaction coordinator. You might need a full-time admin. You might need a listing coordinator. You might need a showing assistant. Heck, you might run into one of these situations where your business has gotten so big that you want to add a buyer's agent or a listing specialist or a director of operations. These are all positions that we want to hope, and our hope for you is that you see an opportunity within the military spouse community, and I'm going to talk about our transitioning veterans next, to help employ them. So as your business grows and as you might need part-time assistance, you might employ one of the military spouses that you helped find a home. And what you discover is that military spouse is really resourceful. She's very flexible. She or he is very flexible, and they have the ability to transition and work no matter where they go. And so you build a relationship with them, and then they move somewhere else, and you keep constant stream of income with them because they're able to serve you virtually. So we're just opening your mindset on how to give back. So back to one of the questions that we got, how can we give back to our military community? You can do that in many ways other than just donating to a charity. You can do that through creating job opportunities. You can do that by volunteer work in your communities. And we urge you to grow your business as big as possible so that you can help us with the military spouse unemployment rate. And we're gonna, okay, Karina's got me going here. This is Karina's subtle way of saying time to move on.
Time to move on.
So
I do love what Lindsay was saying there. Our full-time showing agent was a retiring, a military spouse who we helped her buy a home. Her husband retired here in San Antonio. And so she's our full-time showing agent. What she does is virtual tours for military families who don't have the time or necessarily the income to come into San Antonio and house hunt, but they need to find a home. So she is running all across our city, which is the 7th largest city in the US. So it takes a little while to get from one side to the other. And she takes video tours for them. And so she's sending video tours to Guam, to Germany, to Spain, to England, Hawaii, all across the US as well on a daily basis, which is pretty awesome. And to speak of transitioning vets, my husband is our listing specialist. So transitioning veterans and finding employment for military spouses is very near and dear to our hearts.
And we feel so blessed that we've created a business that can provide those opportunities. So I will step down off my podium. So talk about profit share, Karina.
All right, so the clients that you're working with, they're going to move several times more before employment or before retirement, I'm sorry. And so as you're helping people buy homes, they'll start asking you questions about what is it like to become a realtor, because they're engaged in the buying process. They're excited. They're looking at MLS. They're looking at houses. They're on Pinterest. They're planning it out, and it looks exciting. And it creates opportunities for you to speak with them about real estate. See whether a career in real estate is an opportunity for them. And again, go back to our previous slide. That could be as a realtor, or it could be in a support position as well. So this is a great opportunity for you to help somebody develop a career in our industry and then connect them with a market center at their next duty station. So I just had another military spouse that we helped launch a career in here in San Antonio, move states with her next duty station, and She's already set up and working at her new duty station now. So then by the time they retire or separate from the military, you're then making that significant social impact in mentoring a military spouse, and you're growing your own retirement plan too. So I saw a couple of people mention that they want to get back to the military community. There's so many ways, and this is one way that you can help and support at a very grassroots level. So we think that that is the ultimate win-win proposition.
Yes, and we're going to keep buzzing. So if you guys have more questions for us, I think we've done a really good job of addressing some of the major questions. Keep popping them into the question section so that as we talk, we can incorporate your questions into our presentation. So keep throwing them at us. If you're on the call and you're thinking like, hey, what about this or what about that? Keep popping it in there so we make sure we address it. So what we now want to, kind of wrap up with, because we got about 5 minutes, is really getting you into the mindset of what could your military business look like, right? So if you're on this call and you're thinking, if you're a mega team, I saw somebody from Ben Kenny's team is here from San Antonio, so welcome. If you have the voice, so I'm going to gear this to a single agent, I'm going to gear this to our mega teams. So our single agents have the ability to add maybe just one, maybe just 6, maybe 12 clients. That's one military client a year to their business. I want you to start thinking about what that could look like for you. Then I want to challenge our mega teams that are on the call with us today to think about what it would mean for them if they created an entire military arm within their mega team. Think about how powerful that could be if you had a whole military division within your mega team that was devoted to military buyers and sellers and serving that market, to the best of your abilities. I mean, you could change lives for military communities. And then what I want you to think about is I want you to think about just sending one referral a month. And then Karina and I are going to talk about how we established our network with over 800 agents that we personally pre-screened to ensure that they were the best of the best that could serve our clients well. And then we're going to also challenge you to think about what your downline could look like if you implement our strategies and do this well. If you're simply adding 2 military spouses a year to Keller Williams, what would that look like for your long-term profitability in terms of profit share? More importantly, what does that look like for your legacy and your social impact in your local communities? So I'm going to go into how can you sign up? How can you become a part of our movement? Because Karina and I really do believe that we're launching a movement when we talk about employing military spouses and transitioning veterans and bringing them around to how real estate can help them. So our class is launching July 25th. If you want to check it out and register, it's $195 for the 8-week course. Again, that's going to get you access to our exclusive Facebook group. You can visit mapscoaching.com. You're going to want to click on Covering Your Bases, Military Buyers and Sellers, and then click the sign up button and join us on this journey. So Karina, do we have anything else? Do we have some more? We finished like 2 minutes early.
Yeah, that's a win for us so far. I'm looking through the questions and I don't see anything else new. Ooh, I'm seeing other people Karina. From San Antonio. Hello. Yes.
Oh, I got a good one here. It's towards the bottom, and I think it's Jay, and I don't want to pronunciate your name wrong. But how can I get someone to show me how to start and set up virtual tours for families since I live so far away? Can I call you, Karina or Lindsay, after the call to discuss?
I would love to chat. I've got another call I'm going to hop on right after, but we'll be teaching exactly how to schedule showings, how to manage them, how to make sure you're not doing 50 video tours per client as well, because that is another problem. So we're going to teach all about that in the class, and then we'll have tips and tricks. We'll actually have our showing agent has a little video, video clip. I don't know how to say that. And she'll be featured in the class too, speaking a little bit more about what she does as well. So she'll be able to then pop into our Facebook group and talk to you a little bit about what she's doing too, because again, the whole purpose of this is to help create community so that we can help essentially function as a mastermind for better working with the military community too.
Yeah, and Jay, so again, register for the class because we're going to have an entire class devoted to exactly that. And we're also going to give you, so we use a 3D camera, and we've used this before. So we're going to give you what 3D camera you can use that helps your buyers and sellers see their homes in more of an interactive light. So definitely check out the class, and we'll include specs on how to do all that in our Facebook group. So please definitely register. And then I want to leave you for this. When you guys register for Karina and I's class, Karina and I are actually doing all of this and donating our portion of the profits to a military spouse scholarships fund that will help fund other military spouses get their real estate license. So if you take our class, we're also going to give you a little social media icon that you can use in all of your marketing that says that you're directly impacting the lives of military spouses just by taking our class, because you're directly contributing to them getting a scholarship. So we leave you with all of those good nuggets, and we hope to see you guys. Ooh, oh my gosh, we got some more.
I have another question here. So one, I went ahead and I included our email addresses in here. Tessa is asking about who to contact regarding any questions. Jay, I hope I'm saying that correctly. There's our email address as well. Patty, you're asking, does this conflict with me doing Homes for Heroes programs? No, it does not. We actually have quite a few agents who are in the Homes for Heroes program in our network. And then I think that this can only help better serve the clients that you're already working with through your Homes for Heroes program as well. And we'd love to hear a little more insight about what you find valuable in that program, and maybe you can share that in the Facebook group too with other members of the course.
Yes. So I know we're at time. Corey, if you're on, thank you. And I want to thank everybody so much for joining us. And I hope to see you guys in the class. And again, just taking the class is going to directly contribute to military spouse real estate scholarship. So thank you guys so much for going on this journey with us.
We appreciate y'all. Have a great rest of your day.